Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. I'm not sure where everyone's coming in from, but thank you for coming in for another fantastic live stream. We're going to be doing a number of different things today. We're going to be looking at the overall market health. We're going to be looking at some of the comments on the sense of people putting in via the live chat, some of the ideas that I would be looking at potentially, and some other casual things that we can discuss on options, questions, stocks, equities, anything regarding on these crazy run that we've seen ever since really since I wouldn't say after the election, but around the election time where everyone was kind of on pins and needles, on thin ice, as some say, and now we're seeing this pretty large divergent of an upward trend. That being said, I am wearing the Star Wars shirt. I did get a couple comments about it. This is a Darth Vader, aka myself, with cotton candy in my little one's hand. Anyways, that's completely nonsense there, but let's go ahead and get going. I'm looking here. Looks like Broke Bent Fishing says, how's life? Is everything? Everything. I hope everyone's doing well as well. Yep, Troy, we're doing this just to celebrate my son's first birthday. Congratulations, my friend. That's awesome. Alexander, what's up, my friend? Christopher, what up? Yep. Had a good weekend of trading. So yes, it was definitely a fantastic trading. Hopefully you did as well. Someone, I was going to say, and who's going to suggest PLTR first? Someone already got there. Rocket. Yeah, we can look at Rocket, GTFO. Let's see here. Tesla overbought on the daily and the weekly put sounds in order. However, I've been seeing Tesla shoot overbought. Yeah, Broke, to be completely fair and up, just to be completely straight with you, Tesla doesn't honestly meet the metrics for a lot of things. So let's go ahead and just jump into the charts real fast. So you can see here on the chart, make sure I can see everything. Overbought for Tesla is a whole other scenario. That is definitely something that is completely in its own little league of being overbought, because it is hitting the top band of the RSI here. So on my RSI is a little bit different than the default. That is something where some people usually have it at 70. I have it on 80 to kind of get some of that noise out of there. But this being said, we are kind of bouncing at that very high level. As you've seen previous times, we've hit that top RSI multiple times. That was that run up basically of last year around, or sorry, not last year, this summertime into this last earnings, 2 earnings ago, my bad. We saw that top band of that RSI here. We can kind of zoom in here. So when it turns red, it basically is indicating that it's slightly overbought, but not one single indicator is a way to trade. There has to be a multiple stack of indicators to kind of give the breadth of the market. Is it unhealthy? Is it too hot? Is it too cold? Whatever. It's kind of like the 3 little bears in their porridge. The market's never ever perfect. There's always somewhat skewed to either one side of the direction or not. And there's other different ways that we can look at to kind of give us the breadth of the market. Is it more in the bullish uptrend and a bearish downtrend? Most people look at if it's above the 50-day on the daily chart, if it's above 50-day, it's going bullish. If it's below the 50-day, it's usually kind of a bearish. Some people take the 200-day. It all just comes down to what kind of porridge you like, in that sense. So jumping back into Tesla, you can see that it has hit this overbought multiple times previously, and it doesn't usually crash and come down. It did kind of crash and come down because we had that 5-to-1 split. I think the overall expectations were too high. At the same time, we had the huge run up onto that movement because we start seeing the moving averages go up at very much of a rocket ship projectile ordinance. Basically, if it's anything over like a 55-degree angle, usually it means it needs to kind of cool off or kind of chill out for a little bit. With that being said, Tesla's its own beast. So hopefully that just kind of sets things up. My overall targets is around 609 potentially next week. If it can hit that level, we could potentially getting some more pullback. Some first levels of pullback, because you are seeing this chart like we saw this previously. It's just been going, my favorite word, gangbusters here, and just really kind of taking off to extremely high levels. with that in mind, we are looking at that very, very high momentum here again, that 5 and 8 moving averages, which was we previously saw. So I tend to agree with you. I'm just saying I wouldn't be just going out there blindly shorting it, because again, you can really get your teeth knocked in and your fingers cut off and your ear chopped off, and then your toes crushed, your spleen splattered, and break your hip bone trying to short Tesla, because it's very much a freight train. Yes, I agree. Yeah, broke vet fishing. Basically, yeah. So initially, it should cool off potentially. That's going to be healthier for it, in the sense of healthier if it hits that 600 whatever level. It comes back down to like 550, even down to 530. With these 5 and 8 moving averages to kind of consolidate, because in this whole breadth of the market, it can come all the way back down to around 476, and it still would be an upward trend. That's going to scare a hell of a lot of people, dropping from nearly $600 all the way down to 470-ish bucks, because that's well over $120 move, and that's going to just create a lot of selling in that fact. But just be mindful that Tesla is a beast. Key takeaways: it does its own thing, and it just kind of drives the market. Sahab Bond, oh, thank you for the 90 cents, my friend. We will thank you, my friend. You didn't have to do that. I appreciate that. I saw a couple things. GT wants to be looking at Rocket, so we can look at Rocket. So Rocket kind of been somewhat of an underperformer here, just kind of been kind of sleeper here, had a huge run up for its newer IPO rates, and now kind of just bouncing around here. I kind of like this level. I'm not sure what your time horizon is, GTFO, but I think this is definitely some consolidation period. As long as it kind of stays above like that $20 level, I think you'll be just fine. I'm looking for some initial tests around basically the 200-ish range here, around $21 to $22 to the upside, to potentially see a potential breakout come up from there. And Don Tron 1, yeah, we can look at PLTR. I literally thought that was going to be the very first ticker that people are going to be calling out for. Of course, if you're not familiar with it, if you've been in a coma or under a rock, so with PLTR, it has gone literally parabolic, and now the world famous, for whatever reason, Citron Research or Citron Report. It's a very large short selling firm. I'll put my face back on. Very short selling firm. I think it's out of LA. Andrew Leff runs it. It's a fund, not a fund, a research group where they put out reports on stocks that they think they're overvalued, or they are not disrupting the business as other people think, and they put out not even a report, a tweet saying, hey, PLTR is a casino. People are just really just rolling the dice and just blindly falling the blind into this huge parabolic up move in the rocket ship, and it's going to come down and blow up. And they gave a price target of basically around $20 by the end of the year. So it's about 30 days left, 1 month left of 2020. Of course, December is coming in just around the corner, and it's going to hit $20. Again, it can hit $20. I don't know. I think that this is still a very lucrative stock for the long run if you really want to have a core position in it. Is it hard to get into it now? I would say yes, just because it's gone really much parabolic. But let's go ahead and jump back to the charts here. So looking at the charts, you're really seeing this pattern. Oh, I just moved the slide. All right, my bad. This slide here, moving it just very aggressively to the upside, kind of hitting that $33. I had some initial targets around 36, 37 to potentially hit that level and then come off a little bit. And kind of break down lower. It hit that $26 level right to the T and really just did an about face and kind of bounced right back. I know folks on Wall Street Bets are all over this stock, and they're just really killing it. Yeah, Rahman, Rod, you said, can we talk about GPro? Yes, we can talk about GPro. So, full disclosure, I can give you a quick story time on GPro. I used to trade this stock. I mean, it's a long time ago. It was back in 20, 2015. This stock had the biggest Santa Claus rally in the market. Like, we'll look in the chart here in a second. It literally went from the IPO day. It was the hottest item that year on everyone's wish list. It was bigger than the Roombas back in the day, or anything. It was absolutely insane on what really drove that market. Every, I don't want to say rich person, but everyone who had a little bit of wealth got a GoPro to show off their skiing events or going down skiing. Everything from running their bicycles, all the action sports things just really blew up, and just being the ease of use of the device on top of really easy just to make, basically giving the power for everyone to become a cinematographer, and the extreme sports, and even into car driving, all these other kind of things. I remember that was just completely blowing up there. With that huge run, again, looking here at the chart now, running up to nearly $100, and then just been selling off ever since. And ever since then, it's just kind of been bouncing around. As we speak right now, I've actually not looked at GoPro in God knows when, but this is a good looking chart, honestly, my friend. This is looking for some potentially some really key Fibonacci levels. We're talking about that 580 has been broken. Now that level around $6.81 is potentially going higher. We're seeing some initial resistance at $8.13 here. So this is going to be that kind of level where it's kind of potentially needs some more oomph to really break through and get that momentum to really carry it higher. Let me look at a weekly chart for you, my friend. Yeah, that's honestly, like, it's a nice sleeper. Like this, I think it's unheard of. I think if there gets some more volume and some more movement in this stock, this could really move. So I think overall, some key levels to keep an eye out is around that $5.80 level for downward support. But some key levels to the upside is trying to break above that 1813. And if it gets any kind of legs, any kind of movement, aka Wall Street bets bros and girls get behind it and give it some volume like they did with GME, that thing can easily hit $12, I think. Yeah, people love that PLTR. John, Ken, I'm in the ER with heart issues. God bless you, my friend. Real quick, when will the market finally pull back? I don't know that. I don't have a crystal ball. Sorry, my friend. Hopefully you get help with your heart. Christopher, great call on the GoPro. AB Alexander says, I know the stock's under $5, but what do you think about AQB? Interesting. Oh, I just hit the wrong fat fingers here. Sorry, 1 second. Let me get this reorganized. You're the second person that brought that to my or third person today. So there's something going on there on that one, Alexander. Is that something that's like trending on stock twits or something? Yeah, this one looks interesting. I actually really like the pattern. I was texting my friend earlier, and I wasn't able to look at the chart directly, but I honestly really like it. I think that could easily, as long as it stays above $4, I think it potentially can break $4.50 to even test $5. If it does break $5, we're looking for some targets around $5.88 to the upside. GTF says I made a nice profit on PLTR and FCell, and I don't know what they're going to do rather than just profits into something else less explode. Yeah, FCell, that has definitely been a crazy movement in that stock without a doubt, my friend. That has been insane. All right, sorry guys, I'm being super slow today. I'm doing a horrible time. Just catching up with all the comments. I'm really slow at this. I'm sorry. Tesla is definitely a monster. Tilray and ACB, again, I'm not the world's greatest knowledge base of weed stocks or anything regarding of consumption of that. So I'm going to leave the other people who are a little bit more better off on that sense. I'm sorry, guys. There's so many chats coming through. Someone subscribed. Oh, thank you, my friend. You became a member. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're welcome for looking at GoPro. Good call, my friend. What price did you get in a GoPro? Christopher, yes. I honestly, Nintendo is. I think Nintendo is gonna bloom as well or go to the moon. I think that's a really good call. Josh, yes. Helion, SYLN. That has got some interesting potential movement. So if you're not familiar with this stock as well, this stock was. It kind of came. Let me go back to the face if you don't want to see my pretty face. Basically, this stock kind of came public in the sense of around the same time of Nikola, and it kind of got in that same kind of cohort of the semi-truck business, kind of helping commercial vehicles, blah blah blah, in that overall cohort. And since this actually has a product and it actually is trying to reduce things, and they have current product testing of their newer stuff, they have like a hybrid engine that helps increase mileage on large 18-wheeler commercial trucks. Those are I think they're like 60 feet. I don't know how big they are, but they're large trucks that you see on the roads everywhere that carry all your groceries, everything from coast to coast and from up and down, south, east, and west. So they are helping kind of preserve fuel by using electric motors. I think they're getting into hydrogen as well, but that's still in the testing period. But they actually have active hybrid motors that are actually, I think, on like 2,000 plus clients' rigs or trucks, currently speaking. With this one, I'm going to be straight with you. This one is definitely going to be one that you're going to be a little bit more speculative on. By speculative, I mean something that you're going to be, I won't say rolling the dice on, but you're really gonna have to be a little patient with. So if we go into the chart here, I just drew the fibs on here, so the swing high to swing low. Of course, you saw that huge crash come in, basically coming from around $53 all the way down to below 20. I actually did a video on this on a short. I actually got a lot of hate for it. I said that it was going to break below 23, even and probably go below 20, and it did. So I was right on that fact. So I can give myself a nice little pat on my back on that sense. So I can give myself a little thumbs up there and be all proud of myself on that one. But now we're seeing that 5 and 8 finally crossed through the 21 EMA and kind of some bouncing around pattern. We're going to be looking for some potential breakouts if it gets above 2766. So actually on that fact, my friend, I'm going to be creating an alert. If it goes at or above that price range, I'm going to be looking to potentially revisit it or look at it again. And then on the same flip side, I'm going to be seeing if it breaks below the 200 EMA, which is basically around $23 to around $22.50. So I'm just going to kind of put an alert there. So this keeps me, it's still somewhat on my radar. If it does move, I do get an alert there as well. So hopefully that was helpful there. But what is Nintendo's symbol? I always forget Nintendo's symbol. It's something like, it's a crazy, very long, elegant one. Let's see here. I'm sorry, the chat's going really fast here. Wall Street Bets is obsessed with PLTR. Yes, they are. Just going to go to Best Buy and see the tech product, see what person of the year by they're going to call. Yeah, but still go to Best Buy. I think people still, is Best Buy still considered like the showroom for Amazon? Do people still kind of comment as that as being the overall showroom? RJ, looking at some calls for JWIM just because the buzz is getting. I think that's kind of been the play for a lot of the stocks lately. So if we switch back over to this chart here, it's hitting a key level for me here around $39 to $40. Not meaning it's going to come down and crash or whatever reason, but potentially to continue to run higher, kind of getting a pullback like we saw with PLTR. I have some initial targets potentially hit 50. That's going to be a very key level. And then it sounds insane in the membrane, but we can potentially see this even run higher because, again, this thing has had movement in the past. It's an IPO that came out late last summer of last year, and it went gangbusters, and it just kind of went quiet for a really long periods of time, and then of course, with majority of IPOs after the first year of being around, it kind of gets its legs and gets its footing, and the management team, for whatever reason, starts understanding things, and they start getting some more publicity. Whatever reason, people start understanding the business a little bit better. We're seeing that really key movement, potentially testing its all-time high above $49. But again, you have to be very careful and very speculative on this one because, again, this has been a very much a parabolic move within that chart as well, my friend. Oh, Nintendo's NN. Okay, let's look at Nintendo. Sorry, someone. Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah. Ooh, that had a huge gap up on Friday. Yikers! Hi, caramba. That's a nice. I missed that one in my portfolio. Shucks. Because that's a beautiful pattern. Whoever called this one out, good riddance for you. We have the 5 and 8 crossing over here. This is definitely a very high movement here. With the 5 and 8 crossing through the 21 EMA, potentially the pump up higher here. This is a very large move. Some key levels that we've seen some resistance kind of come in. Just looking at the charts, around $70 to $71. We literally closed the day out exactly at 70, so that's kind of a little sus there. But with that overall movement potentially testing $75. To the downside, support is going to be coming around $66 to $65 to the downside there. That's a great looking chart there. Okay, let's see. What's up, Alpaca? SCI? Yeah, let's look at SCI. That is your Roni virus play, correct? I just saw that in the chat before I jumped on. Yeah, like I think we just talked about it on just the other day. I think that as long as it stays above $48.80, this one is looking to trend higher. If any of that news goes out or whatever reasons that this needs to pop, this is definitely going to be some key level support, and then the potential movement to the upside is actually going to be hitting 51 and then 52.85 to the upside. The reason I say 51.30 is because that's the parabolic SAR dots. They're currently above the stock. They need to slowly kind of reverse and come back down to get above the ticks, so we can kind of get that movement to potentially kick higher. Edwin, you might want to be looking at Aqua Metals. There's a lot of unusual options activity for July. Yeah, a lot of people said that. What's the ticker for? Is that the one that AQB? Is that the ticker for that one? Yeah, Nintendo is definitely a miss for me as well. Broke vet fishing, CCL, 200-day moving average bullish cross, 50-day vaccines pushing the stock higher, blah, blah, blah. Yep. So I think I actually agree with you. So the cruise lines are somewhat of a potential movement here, with again kind of doing the staircase higher of moving higher in the sense of having more positive news about vaccines and overall movements higher. We're hitting a key level here around $21.94. If we do get that to break, I have some key targets around $25, $30, and $30 for it to continue to grind higher. But that being said, definitely something to look out for to grind higher. Because again, I've never been on a cruise. I don't think I'll ever go on a cruise just because I'm not a fan of the water. But if it can make me money, I'll definitely trade it. And it is potentially trend. It's very bullish trend as of right now. But as we've seen in the past, it has someone has thrown cold water on it before, and it really just kind of gave it all back. But again, now we have a little bit more information about the virus. We have vaccines, and all these other things have kind of just slightly skewed it down a little bit, in my opinion. It's AQMS. QMS. Okay, I'm writing a couple of these down just to be double check here. Sorry, this is a lot of things are going here. What's up, Fish? Apple. We can look at Apple. Apple. Like, what the flippy floppy's going on over there at Apple, right? Like, it's just kind of just like in a very much a holding pattern here and just not doing much of anything. All these other tech stocks are really just flying off the rails and just printing all-time highs and all these other variances. But you just have Apple here just kind of lollygagging around, just kind of just chilling and just kind of cruising cruising along here, not giving a you know what here. Of course, got to give you the chewy. With this movement here, kind of not really breaking above that 120 range. In the last couple of weeks, we have kind of got a little bit of movement higher, but ever since that split, I think, I'm just going to say this, a little bit speculative play here, I think Apple could pop just because, for whatever reason, it's just kind of be lollygagging around, lack of a better words. Being a little bit of a contrarian bettor and options player and trader, I think this potentially could break to the upside. But that being said, I would keep it on a short leash. If it doesn't break above 120 and kind of gives it all back, some key levels I want to be looking at to the downside is 114 to 115. Key levels are basically around 112 to 111 to the downside there, Fish. But I think this could potentially run. Let me give you some of those examples there. It doesn't look pretty right now, but I think if it does get any kind of positive sales from Black Friday, Cyber Monday, which I think they finally do actually some kind of sales. That key level 124 or higher, that could definitely break and get some upward momentum to break initially 130 coming. Christopher, check out APPN. Sticking with the A's. APP. Oh, yeah, I know this one. Someone else posted this, and I said, what on God's green earth? What on God's green earth? Insane. Yeah. I got nothing to add on that one. That's absolutely insane. Yeah. That's insane. I am that's literally gone parabolic. There is nothing chart wise I can kind of give you some levels, some initial levels to hold is 172, but that's nothing sturdy. Another level is around 145, but I don't think that's sturdy as well. The more sturdy level is going to be around 117, and that's a really far drop from where it's currently going. So nearly $100 from where we're looking at there. So that's pretty insane in the membrane there. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. Zachary says, Ken, can you please check out APXT? Sure. APXT. Yes, this is Apex. I saw this trending the other day as well. Absolutely jumping from 11. Oh God, like this market, right, boys and girls? It's crazy with this huge, absolutely enormous run-ups. Like this is unheard of. Like I forget what the news is here, but this is insane, guys. This is insane. I don't know what the reasoning is. If you're in it, give you a nice little pat on the back, get a little thumbsies uppies here, a little high five, good for you. But yeah, I can't. There's not really much levels to look at here. Look at that volume on that just that single day. Absolutely insane. Yeah, this is much more of a trading stock than it would be for me to try to invest in. So what was it? AQMS. Was it? We're sticking with the A's today. Yeah. AQMS. Okay. So this one used to have unusual options activity in January. Yeah. I kind of like this one. I'm not gonna lie with you. I have no idea what they do, but I like the squeeze patterns here. So this is basically where the Keltner and Bollinger channels on the chart really contract in and really get some very tight compression to go through. So this is definitely one that could get some more movement, even though it was kind of just bouncing around. I know it's a penny stock, but everything in this market has been going from a penny stock. Like NEO was a penny stock 2.5 or a year and a half ago, and now it's at $50. So not saying anything. I don't know what this company does, but this is definitely a very interesting trending chart here, to say the least. It looks like it just had earnings as well. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit difficult to trade because it is a penny stock. But yeah, it looks like some initial support, basically around $1 to 98 cents. Some key levels to break is basically to kind of break above the 140 level, to break above and close above that level for this movement to really continue to go up, up, up from there, my friend. Let's see. I think PDD is ready for another leg up. This is the one. Wow. That is a beautiful looking chart there. You guys are really bringing it tonight, boys and girls. These are some great looking charts. So this one, I like this kind of pattern. So the overall ticks are staying at a very nice level up here. Even though volume is kind of declining, you can see on the little blue bars here, the volume is declining, but the stock is holding up well. And it's just kind of hinting around, waiting for the moving averages to kind of catch up here and get another little push higher. Initially looking at this one, let's look at some key levels here. I think it's going to probably hit the 1272 here, or it's gonna, okay. The 1272 is here, and it didn't click where I wanted it to. There we go. 1272 support, okay. And it's hitting that 146 range, which is a key level at the 2618, which is, again, a lot of these parabolic stars have hit these very high Fibonacci numbers, which weren't really much of my targets 3-4 years ago, but now with these very large aggressive moves on the daily charts, we're really seeing these really kind of come through. And this is definitely something that could run if we get a break above the 146 range to potentially run up to 193. I know that one sounds insane as well, but that is definitely something to kind of keep a very close eye on a PDD. So great little pick there, Christopher there. Can we talk about Andrew Luck's manipulation of the market to buy stocks he missed on the boat? Yeah, I think it's the sad thing is it's legal. It's completely legal in his right to do the things that he does. Do I think it's right on a personal level? No. If you have a big voice, you can somewhat manipulate the stock. It's basically on how they traded back in the bucket house days at the turn of the century in like 1890s to like 1930s, basically, where they had these really large funds manipulating prices, and they would just, I won't say they print propaganda, but they would kind of print and persuade things, and they would create brackets. And I'm not saying he's doing that, but it's kind of the same sense of just like not really feeling cool about it. It doesn't, like, I don't know. He can do whatever he wants to do because that's in his. And that's right now. That's the law. You're allowed to do that. So I can't hold him accountable on that. APX. Okay, let's go APXT. Okay, I'm sorry, we just did that one. My bad. Okay. Let's look at, can we look at NIO Tesla? Oh, we look at NIO. So NIO, of course, that has had a absolutely crazy run, and the overall trend is actually still very much intact. Again, by the trend, I mean on the very short dated side, with the 5 and 8 continue to slowly grind higher here. If we're seeing some initial support around $49 to $50 to the downside, and then stronger support coming in around 44.80 to around 42.20 to the downside support. But that trend is still very much intact, because that overall EV movement is really shaping up to continue to grind higher. And then Shop, so that is Shopify. Yeah, this one was a great stock during the, I won't say still during the pandemic, but it really enabled a lot of folks to make money working from home. This, again, just to mind you, this was on the short list for Andrew Left and Citron Research, and they gave it a price target at like, it was at 150 at the time or something like that. They gave a price target at like below 80 or something like that. Of course, it ripped through it and went ballistic on it with 200 plus bucks. Anyways, mindful of that. So we have this kind of in this box here. So why do I have this imaginary little box around this chart here? Basically to help me when I do my weekly and nightly reviews, morning reviews, daily reviews of charts, and kind of just cruising through things. I can just click on it and I can see, okay, it hasn't broken above the box and still kind of in this box. So if I want this to potentially see breakout, which it is trying, a little bit early on my account, which I do usually, I'm a little bit early on things, but with the 5 and 8 crossing over the 21 EMA, we can potentially see some targets potentially test around the 1100 range to really see a breakout. And then downside support, we're going to be kind of coming into around the $900 level. So just kind of keeping those parameters and range there, and kind of keeping a focus on the stock to potentially see it break out. Like, honestly, it's kind of ripe for, if you're familiar with options trading, and maybe collecting some premium and maybe selling like the 900 puts. That may be something that I want to do come Monday. So that's actually a very interesting chart. And thank you for sharing, my friend. Oh, let's see here. Okay, chat. Alex wants to look at SPY. Yes, let's look at SPY. So that's not the SPY, it's the S&P 500. So full understanding here, what we're looking at here, we're looking at the S&P 500 potentially trying to test its all-time highs coming into next week. By all-time highs, we're really kind of bouncing off that level here. We've kind of tested it once, twice, maybe 3 times now, nearly, to break above that. Let's just call it 365 above, because we closed at 363.67 on Friday. Even though it was a half day, it was considered during the holidays period, and usually the volumes are a little bit light, because you can see, look how there's not much volume on Wednesday or Friday of that week, even though the market was kind of drifting higher slightly here, and kind of holding an average volume here, potentially slowing down a little bit. We don't know. With this movement here, some key levels to look out for is potentially if we do break that 365, we can potentially run to 370, and some downside initial support is going to be coming around 360 with stronger support around SP 500 or SPY around 353 to the downside, with very strong support coming in around 350. Again, 350 is landing where the parabolic SAR dots are, the 34 EMA, and it's a nice round number. Vlad, you're so right. That Google Trend stuff is pretty insane. Like, you can predict a lot of things in that sense. That's crazy on how that big. Good call on that. Good call, my friend. Brian, what's up, my friend? You want to look at Pershing Square and Fastly? Yeah, let's look at PS. So this one is going to be really hard to kind of look at it as a trading side because it's still an unknown SPAC. It's let me go back to showing my pretty face here. So basically, this is still an unknown chart. So this is basically you're just betting on Pershing Square, aka Bill Ackman, the what I call him, the silver fox. Beautiful looking hair. I wish I had hair like that. But anyways, any points aside, with this particular fund, it's kind of slightly different. Don't quote me on any of the stuff on how they built up the metrics on the charts or on the back end of the SPAC. It's slightly differently, not regulated, but the way it was written, I think it paid off easier, or you got more warrants if you held the stock through whatever acquisition they would potentially get into. And they're looking at everything. They were looking at, people were hinting that they're going to be bringing Robinhood public, or they're going to bring Airbnb, but that's not going to happen right now. Or they were looking at other companies within the technology space, the financing space, whatever. They were very broad on their calls. Initially, we're seeing it kind of bounce around here. Again, the high of all-time high is around 25.30. So let's go ahead and switch back to the charts here. This has definitely been a chart to watch for, where we're seeing that really aggressive movement here. So we're seeing that 5 and 8 continue to grind higher, potentially try to curl and break above that $25 limit. Basically at 25.30, potentially going higher. The next level is going to be around 26.19. It's interesting, again, because there hasn't been any proposal of what they're buying or what they're doing with it, but volume is picking up. So there could be some murmurs or rumors on a potentially a run up in the stock. So be very careful on that one, my friend. So full disclosure, I own this for my longer term portfolio, and I've just been holding on it for quite some time. And then you want to look at Fastly. Yes, so Fastly, another interesting stock. Probably one of those ones that really got beaten up due to that TikTok deal with Walmart, which I'm still trying to figure that one out, boys and girls. Anywho, with that movement here, let me fix this chart here. With that movement there, had the huge run up and then kind of gave it all back with that huge gap down from basically 130-ish to below $89, and then continue to sell off. Bounced twice, actually a nice little double bottom, as some technical textbooks folks would call it, around the 200 EMA, and then now it's kind of grinding slowly, kind of building a base here and potentially going higher. So with this one, as long as it stays above that $77.50 to the $79 level, it's fine. It's kind of just going to be building that base here. My only stipulation, I think a lot of the stuff is kind of behind it. And it's just kind of I wouldn't say, I'm not going to pull it from Frank Sinatra. That's not Frank. Who is it? Dean? Is it Dean Martin? Don't quote me on it. The best is yet to come kind of sense. With that movement to potentially break above $90 to $100, but keeping it on a very short leash though, because again, this does have a lot of negativity built into it, and a lot of people don't forget that negativity on a stock. They most likely will hold on to the negative stuff in a stock rather than the positives. It's kind of the basic human emotions around that, if that makes sense. Curious, what do you think about the best options trading platform anyone would love to know for scalping? To be quite honest with you, full disclosure as well, I want to be completely upfront with you. I use Tastyworks. So Tastyworks is a great platform that I use and have been using for options, equities, futures trading, all kinds of things, and it's fantastic. The mobile platform is great. The execution speeds are fantastic. If you're interested, there's an affiliate link down below in the description. If you're interested in joining, it helps me out and support the channel. If you're in if you do so, again, don't want to push in either direction, but I've traded on Thinkorswim, Tastyworks. Never really traded on Robinhood. I've used it in the past, but I love Tastyworks, and they, without going into a complete tangent here, they were there for whenever they had the one technical issues that I've ever dealt with them, where their services stopped for about 30 or 40 minutes, maybe even an hour. I was in some Facebook puts. Basically, I was shorting Facebook. And then the stock, of course, I had orders to execute at a certain price. The system was down. They didn't execute. Long story short, they still gave me the price targets that I had on my orders because they were able to look at them. So that's why I always tell people to make sure you have orders out there to be filled, or at least have the potential orders out there. So if the system does fail, you have that order to prove. So thank God Tastyworks was fantastic on honoring and really taking care of their clients. And I have to give them a little round of applause for that. And of course, Tastyworks has been a fantastic staple for all my trading in the past and currently in the future. So that's my opinion on that. Let's go here. Okay, we got a lot of folks in chat today again. Thank you guys for coming out. Christopher, look at KNDI. KNDI. Whoa. What in G Williker is this? KNDI. This is I don't even know. Is this like a Chinese, some kind of stock? Interesting. Crazy movement. Again, this was basically a $3 stock a couple months ago. Went up all the way to 17, came right back down, and it's traded sideways and came right back up, and then traded sideways for a little bit. Again, no understanding of what this company does, but I kind of like it. A little bit, very much on the speculative side. It's a very fast mover. It looking like it potentially, if it starts breaking below $12.80, we could get some selling into the $10 range. But this is something you have to kind of keep on a very short leash. It's going to be on your main screen. It's going to be something you're going to be watching on a longer basis, unless you have balls of steel and you can just buy some and just sit and forget about it. This is definitely one that could run to the upside, potentially hitting $17 to $20 if that the 5 and 8 moving averages continue to slowly grind higher from there. Christopher, do you think the precious metals will reverse soon? Silver, gold, Barrick gold, looking like it was starting to bottom on Friday. Yeah, I think I'm not the world's greatest trader or investor on commodities kind of stuff like this, but like GLD, which is like the S&P 500 Gold Trust, it's really selling off here. Like it's kind of, I wouldn't say sad, but it's something that I think I know a lot of people who are super long a lot of these stocks and are really getting crushed and getting kicked in, really getting their chest crushed and their eyeballs squeezed out, like the guy from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Not Raiders of the Lost Ark. Was it Temple of, what is the Indiana Jones movie where the Nazi guy melts? When they opened up the tomb. What was it? The tomb. It wasn't the tomb. What was it? the 10 command. I don't remember what it was, but it was, you know what I've seen. I'm talking about the guy melting and his eyeballs popping out with his, yeah. That's basically how some people are feeling right now, all the owning GLD and the precious metal stuff. Potentially, I wouldn't call it a bottom yet, Christopher, honestly, because it's just hitting some key levels. If it can stay, kind of bounce back to around that 168 to 167 level and kind of hold this for a little bit, then I would consider kind of a base building mentality kind of holding there. Lost Ark. Thank you, Boris. Poll of the day. Thank you, everyone. Let's give a nice little high five for Boris. Thank you for calling that out there. Lost Ark. It's a Lost Ark. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, Tesla says EV equals KNDI. Okay. It's an Indian car. Okay. A lot of people talking about APXT. So yeah. Broke vent. Do you use a Mac or Windows? Currently, I'm on a Windows machine, but I have 3 systems at my desk here. I'm a nerd. And thank you, my friend. Yeah, it's Frank Sinatra. The best is yet to come. Thank you, my friend. Nistro says Square. Yeah, we can look at Square. Square is definitely one that's been on a lot of people's radars because it offers Bitcoin, it has cryptocurrencies, it's just kind of the future of fintech, or financial service technology. Really kind of running hot. On the last live stream, we talked about targets hitting around 219. It's getting super close to that level. Again, with that 5 and 8 moving averages continue to grind higher, looking for potentially hitting that 219 level. That's going to be a key level potentially for some profit taking for some folks, and maybe can pull back a little bit to around the 8 EMA potentially. But again, Square has literally been fire and been a rocket ship higher. Really missed that opportunity to get in. Looking here on a weekly chart, this thing just looks fantastic. Like, wowzers. Gee willikers, that's a beautiful looking chart there, Danny. Yeah, a lot of people APXT. Yeah, we talked about that one. That's insane. There's nothing really much I can add to APXT, so a lot of people just joined. So APXT, basically looking for, if it starts breaking below 1360, that's could be potentially some more selling coming in. If it starts breaking above 1578, that's going to be a key level potentially trying to push higher. What do you think about CRSR? I feel a little butthurt about it. I'm not going to be straight with you. I kind of missed that run up there. With this move, it's kind of coming down to some initial short-dated support, my friend. So it's hitting that parabolic SAR dot to the T, if you can see that, the little purple dot there on the daily chart, which is basically around 38.54 and kind of hitting it. Those aren't the most strongest levels of support, but they are support. I've seen them hold large weights before and get some really strong reversals coming in. Depending on if you're investing in this or you're trading this thing has been a super hot stock. And a lot of stocks really kind of pulled back on Friday on some of the, again, PLTR and of course CR. Like a lot of stocks have pulled back a little bit here. Initially, the moving averages have slightly changed to kind of pointing down. The initial level, if it doesn't hold this level here, we can potentially see some selling coming into initial stronger support around $35 to $34 to the downside. I'm sorry if I skipped you, my friend. I'm literally kind of just picking at random because the chat is just scrolling like mad, my friend. If you can put it back in the queue or ping me, that'd be great. Valve, yes, I like this one. I think it's going to hit 15 and go higher. So with this one, full disclosure, long-term options plays on this one. I'm looking for targets around $15.61 to $18. Very much a large move higher here. It's the last crusade. No, I think it's the Lost Ark because they opened up the Ark, right? I don't know. I know it's not the Crystal Skull though, Christopher. That was the one that wasn't really well done, if I remember right. Okay, sorry, I was going off a tangent here. So 1561 is gonna be some initial targets. This thing has been running pretty hot, pretty fast, so we could be potentially getting a pullback to around 1367. It can come all the way down to around 12 to 1275, and that trend will still be intact for me as well. Yep, we can do PLTR again. Looks like a lot of folks are requesting that. PLTR, we're looking for that initial level to hold around 26.17. Again, that's not a very strong level, so that if any kind of more weight or selling comes through, we can really see it run down to around 24 to 23.16 to the downside. If that doesn't hold, we're going to be seeing some levels around 20 to around 1830 levels there to the downside. Key levels to the upside is, of course, breaking the all-time high at 33.50 and then 36.84 to the upside there. Andrew says, what you buying, Ken? Not financial advice, just what you buying. So I'll be completely transparent with you, my friend. I will, let me see, make sure I don't. I'll look at my chart. Hold on. And I'll tell you exactly. I think I made a astronomical amount of trades. Let's see here. Okay, what did I buy? So, full disclosure, these are just orders that I've been looking at. So what I'm looking at, I actually bought, again, I bought a little bit of cruise line stocks. I bought SPLK. So if you're not familiar with that one, Andrew, that's a Splunk, I believe that's how you pronounce it. I like this stock here as well. This thing has kind of been performing fairly well, kind of just bouncing around here. You can see some initial targets I'm looking here at Andrew. I'm looking for it to kind of hold about around 195. So I'm currently nothing aggressive on here. I'm just selling some premium. I'm not going full YOLO or anything on any of this stuff. It's not really my style. Selling some premium on it, potentially looking for some targets around 210 to around 215 to the upside. With earnings on the horizon, it's kind of a coin flip, so I'm being a little bit hesitant on how aggressive I'm approaching that one. What else have I bought? I like pins. So that's Pinterest. So this is a stock that I've been accumulating slowly but surely in the longer term account. It's just kind of each time it comes to the 21 EMA, I just add a handful of shares and just kind of see it can slowly grind higher. And it's been fantastic. A little move there. Another one I like is a Wally mark. That's WMT. Same kind of pattern. I like to kind of see this hold up above 150 to 151 and potentially see a break to the 155 with goals and targets around 161 to the upside. So there's just initially some trades that I'm looking at with that one as well. So hopefully that was helpful. Jeremy Chang, look at Facebook. What are my thoughts on Facebook? I traded Facebook on the dip the other day, I think initially. Yeah, Facebook kind of underperforming like Apple, just hasn't been really moving on any kind of news. Of course, we looked at Pinterest, we looked at Snap, and just been moving very fast. Andrew, I do own I own shares in PTSH. That's the one that's definitely been popping off. And I have owned it since around like $22.50, $22-ish range. and just bought the shares straight out. Okay, going back to Facebook, initial levels are going to be looking at basically around the 270 to around the 267 for support. Some key levels to break here is going to be basically the 281 to the 291 levels there. It's going to be some key levels to break. We saw that 291 level kind of fail here previously, but we're really looking for this to break. Again, that's where those parabolic SAR purple dots kind of line up. And as well, if we get that movement any kind of above, we're going to be looking for the 300 plus range club there. Oh, that's a thank you. I'll check that out. Thank you, Christopher. Alrighty then. Oh, self-starter. Can you check out a? Is that one I skipped, my friend? Okay, I'll check you out. Let's do this one. ALGN. Okay. Al, I don't know what this is, the stock, but that's a good looking chart, bro. Are you in this? That is a, I'm gonna give you, if you're in this one, that's a nice little thumbsies up there. That's a nice looking chart. I'll even give you a high five for that. That is a great looking chart. Huge move on earnings, kind of bounced around a little bit, didn't break below the 21 EMA, holding that super strong pattern here, potentially looking for some higher levels to potentially break above the 492, potentially 500 to go to the upside. Again, I'm not sure what this company does, but that's a good looking chart there. I'm a feeling these options are not going to be the greatest. Yeah, there's not much open interest, and they are a little wide. Yeah, this one probably I would just have to buy the stock, but that's a good looking chart, my friend. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. Andrew, another Andrew. Wow, we got a lot of Andrews in here. FedEx. So, yep, I own FedEx for longer dated options. Love it. Owned it for quite some time, and even owned it through this chop. Held it up okay. It never broke below that 34 MA. It did break below it with the tails of the candles, but it never really broke through with any of the closing of the days. And we're really kind of seeing that strong pattern coming in. Of course, this is going to be a huge quarters for Amazon and all the shipping stuff because everyone's doing their online shopping. Of course, we have Cyber Monday coming out in 2 days, so we'll see a lot of those packages being sent around. Mike and Hazabu says QS. Yeah, QS was one that was insane, right? I have no idea what the company does, but this thing on its first IPO or direct listing, whatever it was, basically went from $24 all the way up to $40. Basically, was up at like 70+% in 1 day. Absolutely insane. Not going to be too much I can do on the chart side because it's only 1 day here on the daily chart. Just kind of looking at to potentially see how this one plays out. Again, I'm not sure what the business does or what it's in, but this if you're in it and you got in at a very low price, you made a heck of a killing there. So yeah. Oh, Facebook has earnings in. FedEx has earnings in 2 weeks. Does it? Does it? Oh wow. Okay. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Yeah, so as long as it stays above 273, I'm fine. Some longer dated targets that I'm looking forward to taking some profits at is around $323 to the upside, my friend. Oh my gosh, you guys are killing it today. Thank you guys for all the fantastic charts and the likes. I appreciate it. Yoki Oki 112 STMP. Stamps.com. My initial impressions is not, it's kind of icky. Kind of making like a weird wave pattern for me. This potentially could be initial short-term base, but if we come up and not break through the $198 to $200 level, that could be just a failure there. Just kind of be a bull trap or dead cat bounce, whatever you want to call it, and we could potentially sell off further. because you've seen it test the 21 EMA before previously here, and it kind of failed and it wasn't able to kind of get in that holding pattern from there up. Again, I don't understand the fundamental side of the business, but the chart is initially looking for some initial support around 180. But if that doesn't hold to the upside, we could see some further downside there, my friend. Too late says ABBV. It's ABBV, right? Yeah, ABBV. This one has just been pretty much gangbusters since like this little bottom here on those last earnings. Looking for some targets around 107. If that can truly continue, we're looking for some longer dated targets around 120. Downside support in the short term is going to be around 100, and then stronger support around 97, my friend. What do I think about vaccine stocks? It's kind of you're talking about a casino. You're talking about the vaccine stocks again. I have no idea about. I'm not a doctor. I don't know anything about biology or stuff like that. But you're really playing hit and miss. Because some do great, some do terrible, all kinds of things. Hourglass says thoughts on Bitcoin. Oh, thoughts on Bitcoin. I called this on Bitcoin hitting this level around 1650, 16,500. Initially, if that holds, could be get a really strong bounce back. If it doesn't, we're going to see some selling coming into around that 1500 to 1470 to the downside. Got word on PLNT. Is that Planet Fitness? Yeah, Planet Fitness. I saw something about the CEO the other day on an interview on like CNBC. The poor guy was sweating bullets. I don't know if he was just had a workout or what, but he said he's like, I don't know. He seemed okay with losing like over 1 million subscribers for the gyms, and they're getting a really strong comeback on it. Again, I am furthest from being any kind of gym rat or any kind of thing like that about fitness. I just take my daily walks. I do have an exercise bike and a treadmill and weights and stuff like that in the gym downstairs or in the basement. But I don't do anything kind of fitness, and I wouldn't even feel comfortable going to a Planet Fitness and going and working out. Not even with the virus. I just don't feel comfortable seeing me suffer on the treadmill. That's just the God honest truth. With this one, we're seeing a really lot of, let's go back to the chart, some heavy kind of holding formation around the $74 and $86 range. We've seen this level once, twice, now 3 times potentially, kind of hold that level there, and we can potentially see that break to the down or upside from there. So hopefully that was maybe working out a little bit, or maybe not 100% on how that was the formation there. Again, fundamentally speaking, with the virus still going out and about, I don't know, like, is it the stay-at-home stuff going to kick in with the Pelotons of everything, the home fitness, whatever? The CEO of Planet Fitness said no, people still love to go to the gym, socialize, blah, blah, blah. That being said, if it doesn't hold that $74, $75 range, we could be potentially seeing some next levels around 68 to around 67 to the downside. And if it strongly breaks, it can be around 63 and below. Christopher says, Adobe. I like Adobe. Of course, So Adobe, like a lot of these other tech stocks, has just kind of been like bouncing around here and it's kind of sold off pretty heavily because I don't know how it was kind of categorized at one of it's like stay-at-home play stocks. But this is definitely something where it has been somewhat of a, one second, my thing is blinking here. What is this, YouTube? Why are you working? Oh shoot. Okay, someone just went kaput. Anyways, with this movement here, we're trying to see a potential crossover with the 5 and 8 crossing through the 21 MA. If we can get a break above that, basically 485, we can potentially test 500. Key levels of resistance can be around 504 to 518 to the upside to be some initial price targets that we're going to be looking at up there. Sai says Virgin Galactic is going to the moon. Literally, as soon as New Mexico border government is opening it up and ready for launch, the stock will be going parabolic. Yes, I sure do hope so, because I've owned a Hello Kitty amount of space options way out in 2023, and they're finally kind of coming into print. With some targets to kind of potentially break $30 to $35, with some longer dated targets around $50 to $63 for space. This thing has definitely been very much on the back of my mind on a weekly basis, because again, I own longer dated options in it, but I love anything to do with space. And again, it's Virgin Galactic, it's training astronauts, it has its tourist kind of training programs they're trying to develop and build out and get that up and running. So initially speaking, if it breaks 30, we can potentially look for 35, but we've seen this kind of pattern before kind of fizzle out here and kind of lose its projections and its overall force of trying to go into a parabolic state around that $25 to $26 level. We're kind of around that level again, so it's basically at a crunch here. Is it going to sink or swim here, and potentially see where it goes? If it kind of crashes and comes back down to earth, we're going to start seeing that levels kind of come in around 25 to the support, and then coming back down to around 21 for that level there. Let's see here. Okay, wow, you guys are really killing it in the chat here. I cannot keep up. Okay, Alpaca saying Congress is about to vote to legalize weed. TH, what is it? X. That's actually a good looking chart there. Actually, Alpaca. That's a nice looking chart. What did you say? TH. Oh my god, I can't write. With this pattern here, it's kind of like making a double top here. If it gets any kind of momentum, breaks above 13, we could potentially test that 1450, which is previous high. So let's look at some fibs here real fast. Yeah, breaks above that, we're looking for that 1429 to come in. If that movement really continues and it gets that really high uptick, we're going to be looking for around $16.55 to $19 to the upside. But again, support kind of coming in around $11. Looks like we did a lot of those. Someone saw DraftKings, Paul. So DraftKings, again, not a huge betting guy and sports guy as well, but this thing has been looking so strong. I know GTFO on the members on Patreon, and as well as a very active member on our Discord, has been nibbling at this multiple times. So I have a distinctive disgrace with this stock just because it has lost me more money this year than any other stock. I was holding it back here for this breakout here to potentially hold this 21 EMA. I thought I had stop orders to get out of it around the like $37 to $38 price. I didn't. I fat fingered something, forgot to hit for confirm and send. Really kind of wrecked my week, really my month that time, and just continued to grind lower. I had just had too much of a larger position on it, and I just was, I make mistakes. I'm human. I traded it too large and I didn't cut it, and then I woke I thought that I got some out of some of it. It didn't finally go through. It just continued to sell. And I didn't notice until like a couple days later that I still had a substantial position in the stock, and it just was grinding lower. So long story short, I have a negative taste for it. That being said, looking here in the future, not dwelling on the past, we are looking fairly strong here, looking for potentially to hold and really above 50. We see that targets potentially coming in around 57 to around $55 for the next overall targets to the upside. So hopefully that was helpful for you there, Paul. And sorry for the whole side story there. Okay, let's see here. We already did Apple. Apple needs to try to break above 125, my friend. What do you think about OXT? OXT does not exist, my friend. Riot, could you be Riot? Riot's the Riot blockchain, right? Oh, RIOT. With this one, we're really looking for some potential support around $5.75 to $5. If the short-term support kind of comes in here, we could potentially see this run back up. But this is something going to be completely tied to the Bitcoin stuff. So I think if Bitcoin continues to go down, I think this will kind of be going with it. Spencer TMO. So yeah, Thermo Fisher has been a fantastic stock, and I have to thank Ryan again via our fantastic YouTube membership tab, and then also through our Discord, very active member as well. This one, he brought this to one of my attention. I have been actually swing trading this for quite some time and getting some great profits in it. Now kind of coming back a little bit, coming back to a key level here. This is again coming back to this level here, that 100% move where this really started the overall movement and the trend higher, really around that $442 or 441 or 440 if you just want to be a little bit more politically correct here. If that can hold here, we can potentially see some prices come back up to 466. If we get any kind of movement and start breaking above that, you have some volume come in the stock. You have the momentum on the squeeze here change from red to yellow, and you have the 5 and 8 cross the 21 EMA. We could see some movements higher above that 466 to potentially test 480 and above there. So hopefully that was helpful for you there, my friend. Yeah. If Salesforce acquires work, what will happen at the all-time high? So yeah, so if you're not familiar with CRM, which is Salesforce.com, is acquiring or in advanced, I'm doing air quotes, advanced talks to basically buy work, which is AKA Slack. So that's the ticker symbol work. Slack is a platform that helps people in companies or even friends and things like that task and all that kind of stuff. Fantastic product. I love it. That being said, this has been an IPO stock way back. It seems like a long time ago, but it was just last summer. Started out strong, sold off dramatically. But then you had that 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters. And then I got into it basically around this range here. It broke this bottom level of the square here, got out of it. I kind of looked at it every once in a while, but of course, out of the blue moon, it came out. Salesforce is buying for it. I haven't read or seen on a price for what they're paying for it. Potentially, this could run up to $42 or above if we want to be aggressive about it. We can look at some of the Fibonacci numbers that we're looking at. So if it breaks 42, we're going to be looking for around $50. Potentially, we could be looking for a $50 price target, which is again to be a nice round number and something that Salesforce could acquire it for. So yeah. Yeah, I agree. The Salesforce does have earnings coming up. I just saw that when I was flipping through here. And they could be, of course, going to be giving a more drastic understanding of what's happening here. So for Salesforce, they had a fantastic last quarter, like absolutely went up like 2 parabolic SAR moves here on the deviation channel. But wow. We already covered PLTR, my friend. PLTR, we're looking for some initial short-term support around 26. If that doesn't hold, we're going to be looking for some support around 23 and then down to 20. Key targets to look for is its all-time high at $33.50 and then potentially testing that 36 to 37 to the upside. Let's see here. Okay, thank you guys, everyone, for all the fantastic questions, Mike. We are really flying off the rails today. I usually only have like 25 or 30 people on the live stream, but we got a lot of folks here today. I appreciate it. Okie dokie, NNDM. Okay, there we go. Someone brought that up. I was going to be surprised if no one brought that up during the live stream. So NNDM, okay, this one has been on a lot of people's minds. It's been on ARK Investment, Mrs. Kathy Wood's portfolio for some time. This one has been pretty much breaking out and gone parabolic as well. Looking for some initial targets to stay above the $7 or $6.90. Initial support's going to be coming on the short dated side around 530, and then coming down to potentially 473, but with some targets to potentially break above $8 and then looking for around $11.39 to the upside. But again, fully understanding this stock, this is very much a parabolic, crazy stock to the upside. So you have to be very careful on this one and kind of keep it on a short leash, and depending on not throwing your whole full portfolio into this stock. So be very, 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 very mindful of that. What's up, Kumar? Alibaba, yeah. Alibaba. So this one, I think, Kumar, I think we talked about this one last live stream. You brought this one up. So we talked about that initial level to potentially cool off here. We have those 2 bubbles here. Those are going to be like those, the really high end and low end, what people thought that could happen for Alibaba or Alibaba. So ticker symbol BABA. We are kind of coming up to the 21 EMA. We've had a pretty large move from basically 260 to the 278 to 280 level. Not an astronomical move, but we did see a significant move higher here at those levels. What we would like to see potentially, it's within reason, it can take a break here, gain some momentum, build a base here, and potentially try to kick higher to break above the 50-day, which is basically around 288 to 290, currently where the daily chart is. But that would need some more volume and momentum to kind of come in here to look at that. Some initial support, short-dated stuff is going to be coming around 270, but if 270 to 271 breaks, we could potentially see it kind of sell off a little bit, coming back down to around the 261 to 260 level there, my friend. Nice tub and tile solutions. Awesome. I actually need to get my bathroom redone. Are you in the Virginia area? He's saying GRWG. Oh, shoot. GRWG. Wow. I hope you're in this one. Nice tub and tile solutions. Wow, that is a fantastic looking chart there. You're going to get a nice little thumbs up there. I know someone's told me about this chart before. This is familiar. Wow. That has definitely gone parabolic like every other chart that we've looked at today. But looking for some initial targets, potentially around $38. We're seeing that aggressive movement between the 5 and 8 continue to grind higher here, and looking for those initial targets around 38.69 to the upside. again, those are just Fibonacci retracements from the swing high to swing low. If that trend wants to continue, that 38.69 is going to be next level. Short dated support is going to be coming in around the 30.50 level, and then some stronger support level around 28.92, and then kind of coming in some support around 25.50-ish level there, my friend. So nice looking chart there. And I hope you're in it and you're made a lot of money, a lot of cheddar off it, my friend. Nice looking chart. Oh, Kramer has been pumping that one, Alpaca? Yeah, I'm getting a lot of requests for marijuana and weed stocks. Again, I don't know anything about them or things like that, but yeah. We did PLTR already. PLTR, we're looking for some initial support around 26. Really needs to stay above $20 to $23. But yeah. Snap. SIP. So Snap, kind of like the pins, I also have options on this one. Really looking for some movement above $46. If it breaks above $46, $47 to the upside, this seems crazy, but the next target is around $63 to the upside there. So this is something to be very mindful about to the upside. And see this potentially really grind higher to those levels. Initial support is going to be coming around $40 there for Snap. Oh, you're in San Francisco? Oh, man. Okay. FSR. Oh, Fisker. Okay. This is another EV market. Of course, everyone has been going complete gangbusters about all these EVs and the talk of the town of just everything that if your company has a electronic motor that runs the compressor for whatever, your stock went up because if you have electric vehicle in your title of the company. With this one, yeah, it's a spec play, it's a SPAC play, a little bit more speculative play, kind of a competitor to NIO, Tesla kind of guys, looking for some initial targets to break above 2160 to potentially test 25. Some longer dated targets could be $25 to $30 to the upside. Some initial support to the downside, though, is going to be around 1667, which we've seen come down for a couple times there before. Malik says CIIC, so I'm going to kind of go through these really fast so I can kind of keep up with everyone. Holy moly, guacamole. That is a crazy looking chart. This looks like it was a SPAC as well, and it just went completely parabolic here. And it just went higher, and higher. Wow. Insane. Initial support is going to be coming in around the 2120 level, and then coming around to around 18 to 1624 to the downside. But that is insane. That is crazy. Barry says VERU. What is it? VERU. Honestly, not a big fan of this one. It's trying to break out here, but it really needs to get some momentum going to potentially break above the $3.23 to potentially test that 350 level there. But again, it's got earnings coming up, so I'm a little bit skeptical on that. So be careful on that one. Gain? What do you mean by gain? Is that a stock? Yeah, so this one you can see just looking at the chart, it's kind of come up to the 200 EMA, failed. Now it's coming over to the 200 EMA again. Hopefully, if it breaks above 10, we can potentially see some targets kind of hit 11. But we need to really see that movement, which we did see the momentum kind of slow down. RSI and volumes on oscillators still slightly elevated, so we still could get that volume to come through and break above that 200 EMA with some staying power. Samir says AYRO. Wow. Okay. Yeah, this one absolutely insane as well. Large move higher here. Initial support's going to be coming in around the $7.46 range. Stronger support's going to be coming around $6. Some targets to break is around $9.72 to around $11.70. some longer dated targets if we get really another uptick in momentum and a parabolic move is around 1740 to the upside. OSTK, is that Overstock? OSTK, yeah, this one's kind of coming back slightly a little bit here too. Of course, now we're seeing the kind of a double bounce here off the 200 EMA on the daily chart here, and kind of hitting and showing some support around the $51 to $52 level. And now we're seeing the 5 and 8 kind of cross over, potentially test higher here. Let me do a quick fib here for you, my friend. Yeah. Initial target is going to be looking for around $79 to $80 to the upside, and then potentially testing that $90 to $88 level from there. Andy, we did Apex, and I have not much to add there. Play major money maker play is play. Is that what's it called? Dave & Buster's. Yeah, that is that's going cray. Key level, it needs to break above 2670 here, potentially test 3192, but that momentum looks fairly strong here, as you say. With that 5 and 8 continue to grind us higher and really still pointing up to the sky. So that 3192 could still be in play. Again, going to be really playing on the overall economy making a strong comeback. And a lot of the stricter states opening sites back up to allow people to go in and have a grand old time within the arcade and the beer and what's it called, a bar. Mo, it says FUV. Wow. You guys are just, this was a penny stock a year ago. This is insane. Like, if you're in this, God bless you. Short dated support's going to be coming around $13. Stronger support's going to be coming around $10.10. Targets are about 1570 to around 2250 to the upside. Sorry, says Tata Motors TTM secret EV Indian based Amazon is looking to blow and turn towards an easy money to TTM. I've heard of Tata Motors. Let's look here. I like the chart. I really do. The overall on the weekly side, it hasn't been looking pretty. Like, if you look here on the weekly side, it's just continued to kind of grind down and lower over the last coming years. Again, I'm not too tied to the movement of Tata Motors, but this one, I kind of like the pattern kind of coming in here. Potentially, it had tested that $10 range multiple times. Now it's breaking above 1187, potentially testing 14 to the upside, and really looking for 1678 going out. So that's going to be definitely a very interesting chart to be looking at. So be very mindful of that. I'm going to keep this one. If I do get into these levels, I need to kind of stay above basically 1050 to around 1017 for this trend to really continue as higher on the swing side kind of things. But great call, my friend. Kelly D, what's up? LGBTQ. Oh, yeah. Another SPAC, right? So this is the medical device company. I think ARC has a pretty large investment in this one as well. Of course, SPAC play starts around $10. Huge pop higher here. Excuse me. Pop higher here. Hitting basically a high of $18. Potentially kind of not bottoming here, kind of leveling off here. It can come back down all the way to around that 1247 level and still be fine, and really show that really strong support going forth. Good day, guys. What is the best broker for stocks, guys? My honest opinion, and I have an affiliate link and it helps the channel below, is Tastyworks. That's what I use for options, equities, trading futures, everything. All right, folks, I'm going to do a couple more and then call it a night. I am getting very tired here. The Sandman's coming to shake some sand in my eyes. Someone's saying Norwegian Cruise Lines. Yes, so full disclosure, I own some calls in Norwegian Cruise Lines because I think it has the potential to pop higher. And the targets that I'm looking at, I don't know why my fibs have disappeared on this one. Let me look here, folks, 1 second. I'll show you. I'm looking for some targets to potentially break above. If it does break and continue above 27.13, I'm really looking for targets around $33 to the upside there. It's something that I'm really looking for. Nice tile and nice tub and tile solutions. What I use for charting is Thinkorswim, and then what I use for trading is Tastyworks. With these movements to, again, potentially test 27.13 to the upside and continue to break higher with some longer dated targets around $33 to $40 to the upside. Support to the downside is going to be around $19 to $20 levels to the downside there. Space Spencer, can we look at TRNE with an IPO coming soon? Thanks. TRNE. I don't know what this is. This is interesting. TRNE. Okay. So this is a SPAC, right? And they're buying something? Or they have announced they're buying something? Or is this just a SPAC that everyone's just kind of getting all hyped up about? With a swing high to swing low here, it's kind of hitting a key level around $12.38. If this doesn't hold, we're going to be looking for some initial support around basically $12. If that doesn't hold, some stronger support is going to be coming around $11.40 to around $10.83 to the downside. Perfect stable. Yeah, for Bitcoin, I got nothing to really add there. If you want it to continue to stay here, it needs to stay above the trend. It needs to really stay above basically $15,000 to the upside for the trend to continue. This overall trend, it can come back down. It can come all the way down to around that 1360-ish level, 13,600, 13,500. Initially can come back down for the trend to continue. I would like to not break 1530. GME, yes, we talked about GME a couple times already. Oh. This thing has been a beautiful kind of a cup here. If it's a cup and handle, we can be kind of trading higher around 1583. But if we get any kind of momentum, of course, the folks on Wall Street Bets have been pumping this one a little bit and just talking about it nonstop. And we can potentially see some targets and breaking to all-time highs around 1736 to potentially even hitting $20. So yeah, insane in the membrane. Barry, there is no Fibonacci tool thing here. I just literally right click, I hit draw, add a drawing, go down to Fibonacci retracements, and then I also use Fibonacci extensions on my charts, and I have to hand draw all those. But if you join the Discord, I don't know if you haven't already, normally I'll share a bunch of charts there on a daily basis. If folks are very kind and ask kindly, I don't mind sharing some charts. If you just say, hey Ken, how does ticker XYZ look? And I'll show you. That's not a promise, but I try my very best. Sometimes it gets a little bit active in there, especially if my trading gets heavily. Yeah, I already have those already on the charts, Barry. They're already saved. I look through hundreds of charts on a daily basis. So yeah. LC, what do you think about IPOB Open Door? I love it. I own it. I love it. I've owned it before they went. They announced the open door, or before what's his name, Chamath Palihapitiya. I hope I pronounced that right. Really seeing some strong moves coming here. If this move continues, we're going to be looking for some targets around $24 to $26 with this momentum continue to grind us higher. Really looking for some longer dated targets above $35 to $50 to the upside. Valence, what's your thoughts on the buy zone for LCA late to the party? LCA. That is Las Vegas one. Holy moly. Wow. Yikes. Yeah, that is making a nice move. That is hitting a Fibonacci retracement right here at $20.62. Not really hitting an all-time high on Friday. If that holds, if it does pull back, we're going to be looking for initially $18.50 to around 17. Stronger support is going to be coming between 1575 to 1477. But if this thing wants to run, this puppy wants to run, this is only concerning here. It's got the middle finger here. So if you're new to the channel, I call this the middle finger of volume. So imagine if you basically flick someone off, you have the first knuckle, then you have the middle finger, and then you have the third knuckle. This is basically giving you the FU in the chart, potentially looking, sometimes this pattern will just consolidate, but sometimes this pattern will just give it all back. That is just something that I've just been looking at. We are seeing it being overbought. We're seeing this pattern kind of come through. We're seeing it hit a key Fibonacci level. That doesn't mean it needs to crash. It just potentially could slow down there. So just be mindful of that. Gloom just popped in. Talk about GROW. Grow. I don't know what this one is, but this one looks pretty interesting. A little bit a cheaper stock below my $5 price target, but it's a chart and it looks pretty good. If it breaks above that 390, which is basically its previous high, we're going to be looking for $4.36 to around $5. So really kind of like that one, actually. I have no idea what they do, though. Probably something to do with marijuana. Am I right? Okay, folks, I am getting tired. I'm gonna do a couple more. Let's see here. Let's see here. D King, Greg B. What's up, Greg? So we did DraftKings already. Kind of gave the sob story of me losing thousands of dollars on it, but that's fine. Looking here at potentially if it holds above 50. And gets this momentum to continue going higher with some volume kind of coming in here, we can potentially see some targets to the upside, potentially hit $53 to $55. Some key levels to the downside support is going to be around $50 and then down to around 47 to 47.19 to the downside. I got $15, 15 of Lucy LCA at 15. Nice trade there. Got those options. Shooters Dream. Could you check out XERS? XERS. Okay. So full disclosure, pharmaceutical companies is not my forte because I'm not a doctor or anything like that. But this chart doesn't look very pretty unless there's some kind of catalyst or some kind of drug or some kind of end of trial that could be coming out or some data. But this chart does not look very pretty right now. A lot of overhead pressure coming in around that 550 to 557 and not really seeing any kind of strong movement above it. On the weekly chart, it just looks like it's very much of a downtrending chart there as well. But again, if there's something fundamental that you know or understand about the thing, but yeah. Mm-hmm. Zach attacks says, "Hey, I'm 19, new to trading, just opened a $50 account for Robinhood. Any tips for being successful? Cut your losses fast and don't let emotions dictate your trading." I've been trading for over 10 years and I still tell myself that every day. Because emotions will kill everything. Price targets for NIO by 2021 to 2022. I can't tell you price targets, but I can tell you what the options markets are saying. So the options markets for NIO for 2022 basically is saying a move of $80 plus or minus where we're currently sitting at. So that, of course, would put it above that 120-ish range. So I think you can hit it if the overall EV stuff continues and there isn't any financial manipulations for NIO books, because I just bless that they don't, because it will give the Chinese government even more of a negativity look at their books, and just to may really just kind of kill the investing opportunities, especially in China. We just covered LCA. That's really breaking up to all-time highs, but yeah. Daniel, THCB is up. THCB. I think we just did that one, right? Wow. Is this another SPAC? Like, how many SPACs are going public? This is insane. Yeah. Great move higher. Like, some initial support's going to be around $11 to $10.64 to the downside. Everything. Greetings. Will you please view COTY? COTY. Yeah, it really made a strong move here from those last earnings. That's a great looking chart. Kind of coming back here for some hitting that parabolic SER dot at basically $6.36. If that doesn't hold, we're going to be looking for some little bit lower levels around that 550-ish level where the 21 EMA kind of comes into. But that's an interesting looking chart. So initially looking for some targets above $9 if that really trend can hold up there. Spencer, buy, hold, or sell QS at open. That's your call, my friend. What was your plan? If I was up 60% on a speculative stocks, I would sell half of it. That's just my point. SBE. Yeah, this is a Switchback Energy acquisition. This is the company that's going to be installing and redoing or building the EV electronic grid, which is actually a pretty good play because, again, you're not really betting on all the EV companies. You're really just betting on the folks that are going to be giving the power to the cars. They're going to be completely standoffish. They don't care who's going to be using it. They just know that cars are going to be becoming more popular, and this is definitely going to be a thing. So this is definitely something a lot of folks are buying into. I have initial short-dated support around $32, basically $33, and then some more stronger support around $30, and then coming back to around $25 to the downside there, with some key targets around $45 to $65 to the upside. I know those are very broad, but those are 2 fib numbers, which, again, this stock has been very much a parabolic stock as well. So yeah. What are my thoughts on ACB? Aurora. Okay, yeah, the weed stocks. Again, I'm not sure who's going to be the best one, who's going to win, but definitely these are trying to pull back or break out here. If this breaks above its current, basically falling 144 EMA, we can be looking for some really tests to really see a break above $14 to $15 to the upside. Twitter. Thanks for spamming. So Twitter, kind of under the thumb of the government, being called and testifying quite a bit here. Looking for a potential move higher. We are seeing the 5 and 8 coming through the 21 EMA, potentially testing and breaking into $48 to $50 to the upside. Downside support's going to be coming around $45 to the downside. What are my thoughts on AMC? I wish them the best. AMC, of course, has definitely been hit by the pandemic and it's just been kind of suffering from that. The chart looks absolutely terrible. Even though the quarters, they are trying to stay alive here. Really not seeing it. Really needs to break above $5.84 to $7 to really get any kind of a movement higher there. Lee says GME short squeeze. Yes, I believe GME is in a short squeeze. This stock has been very much shorted all the way up here, and really just kind of made a cup and handle pattern here. Or sorry, there's a cup pattern here, potentially building a handle here around $17 to $16 and continue to potentially break 17. If the short squeeze really fires long, we could be looking for around $19 to the upside there. Save, nothing to really add on the airlines. I'm really just invested into Jets, which is an ETF, which you can criticize me for buying the ETFs instead of just buying individual companies. If I'm right, Save is Spirit Airlines, right? Yeah, very much the same pattern as Jets. So I'll just kind of cover Jets so I can cover all the airlines. Testing some highs here. I'm looking for Jets to potentially test $24 with some longer dated targets above 27. Space, we covered Space. If Space breaks $30, I think it could run, but we've seen Space at these levels before and it really kind of fizzled out and came back down to earth. So potential levels around 25 and then down to around $20 there, my friend. Thoughts on Fisker? I really don't have many thoughts on Fisker. Just it's somewhat of a competitor to NIO and Tesla. The stock again is really getting as that IPO SPAC stage, and it's just kind of been bouncing around like a heart monitor. ARM says KB and your opinion, please. KB Financial Group. I like it. It's kind of really breaking out. Like it's a good looking chart. Hasn't been performing well on the weekly chart, but it's trying to break out here and get above the 200 EMA, which has not. Uh, 2019, really. What up, David? How you doing, my friend? Shadow says RTX. So Raytheon Technology. Yeah, this is again a lot of the fundamental, or sorry, the military contract plays with some key levels around $72. If we can hold above that, we're going to be looking for some targets around 78 plus to potentially test some targets above $88 to the upside. PLTR, Miko Chen. So PLTR, yep, we covered that one quite a bit during the live stream. So this one is definitely looking for some key levels around $26. That's going to be it's a level, but it's not a very key holding level. Some stronger key holding level is going to be around $23. If that doesn't hold and close above it, we can potentially looking for some targets around $19 to even down to $18. But again, the boys and girls in Wall Street bets are pretty much behind this, and they're trying to I won't say manipulate, but they're buying that stock like hell. FUV, yeah, this is one that's come up quite a bit as well. We're looking for some initial support here around 13, 16. If it doesn't hold, we're looking for around $11 to $10 range but looking for some targets that at or above to around 22 to break to test there. Stock Up 101 says, how's it going, Ken? Is it going great? Thank you for joining, my friend. Quick questions. Do you trade options? Yes, I do trade a lot of options. Patel SNOP. SD? You mean snow or SD? Is SDON stock? SD, I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole. I don't like these leveraged ETF ones. The stock, I love it. AMD, yes, AMD. This is one, again, I have longer dated options in. Potentially looking for a move above 90 to really break out and test above 100. With some support coming in around the $80 range. Thank you for subscribing, my friend, and you're welcome, Shadow. Thoughts on oil field stocks? Yeah, I don't have much opinions on oil stocks. Greg, I like Walmart as well. Walmart, I'm looking for some targets above 150 to 161. Really some key levels around 150 support. Netflix, yeah, we look at Netflix. Sorry, I skipped you. Netflix, kind of in somewhat of a strange place. Kind of like trading sideways in like these weird waves here. The 144 EMA has been some support on the daily chart here. We are seeing a squeeze setting up here, which, lack of better words, could go to the upside here. So if Netflix can hold and stay above the 475 range, I think we can easily see some targets above 515 to 530 to the upside. Okay, let me do here. Okay, MP, what's MP? Never heard of that. Wow. This is a SPAC. I think it's called the whole market a SPAC company. Crazy moves here, absolutely insane. Some key levels to really look at to the downside support is going to be around 1877 to the downside. So that support there and some stronger support coming in at these tops and the 21 EMA around 1617. But this can run up to 25 to even $30 potentially. IDEX. I have nothing to add on that. David, yes, we look at NNDM. So NNDM has definitely been something that's been absolutely insane with some movement here. This is one that ARK investment has been adding into here and really just kind of climbing here, looking for some initial targets around $8 to the upside. And then look at some potential support coming in around $5.30 with kind of a much stronger support kind of coming in around the 475. But this stock has been absolutely insane and looking for this to, if it does break out and go parabolic stronger than it has been, we're going to be looking for some targets around $11 there, David. Target, yeah, we look at Target. So Target and Walmart, I honestly like Target a little bit better, so I own both. Target looks a little bit stronger on their quarter and they're continuing to grind higher. Target, we have some initial targets around 187 to the upside. That's going to be a very key level, and very much a profit level that I'm going to be taking some profits at. JA1222290 Tesla. Yes, we can look at Tesla. So Tesla, of course, has been absolutely insane the past week, coming into nearly $600 price target. I think you can hit 609 and then potentially kind of level off a little bit. If it doesn't hit 609 and kind of doesn't level off, or if it does hit 609 and kind of does a quick drawback, some initial support's going to be coming around 550. Some stronger support's going to be coming around 500, and then kind of wherever the 21 EMA lies on the daily chart, which is currently around 480. Miko FUBO. Not sure. This is like a Chinese stock. Yeah. This one, key level around 25.88, with some targets above 30. If this momentum continues, because you're seeing that 5 and 8 pattern to play out, short-dated support's going to be coming around 23.64, with some more support coming around 19.11. But this looks like it wants to continue to stay above 25.88 to potentially test 30. J Keys 233. I don't know what's gonna pop on Monday, but definitely NNDM, like we just covered. We covered some other the pot stocks are going forth as well. I don't know what's gonna pop on Monday, but there's a lot of things that could be popping all week. Of course, Tesla is trying to potentially test 600, so that's going to be a very interesting one to watch as well. Stock Up 101 says Beyond Meat. Yeah, BYND. Kind of making somewhat of a comeback here. The 21 EMA is it's kind of showing some initial resistance here and not really getting above it. If we do see the white and purple line, which is the 5 and 8 moving averages, cross through the 21 EMA, we're going to be looking for some targets around 150. Please cover IDEX. I guess I can cover it for you if you ask nicely. IDEX. This one, it's going to be very hard to cover it because again, it went super parabolic here. Basically, went from less than $1, so 88 cents, to $5 in a week, and it's just really gone crazy. Initial support, some short-dated support is going to be coming around $2.50, and then around $2.28, but it's a parabolic move, and it's going to be very hard to kind of look at what this could be going to. On the fib side, we can look at this movement here. Again, it's still considered a penny stock in my book. Some targets to potentially look at. If it does break above that 484 again, it could be looking for around $5.95 or the $6 range there. Tyler says DBX. Yeah. This is one that's kind of been hurting me way back on it. Way back when I invested in this one. It is trying to move out here, potentially try to break above that 200 falling 200 EMA here around $20. It does have a squeeze setting up and trying to push higher here. If it can break above this $20 range and potentially get above and start trending higher with the 5 and 8 moving averages to really pushing it higher, we could see some higher movements kind of come through there. So I hope that that can really get that stock moving, because that thing has really just been very much an underperformer for quite a long time. We did Apple a lot already. JC says Bean. Bean. What is Bean? Okay, Bean Therapeutics. That's a beautiful looking chart, bro. Yikes. Wow, the heading all-time high today on Friday. Wow. Okay, that's a good looking chart. That is a very nice looking chart there, man. If this can continue, we're going to be looking for some targets. Well. Let me look on the weekly side again. Not too much there. Let's look at this on the weekly side. Oh, come on. Here we go. So it broke past the 618 already. This could potentially looking for $62 to the upside. That being said, some short-dated support's going to be coming in around the $43 range, with some stronger support coming in between $38 to $37 to the downside. We covered Apple already, my friend. Apple is basically just needs to stay above 115 to potentially break above 125 and above. Oh, thank you for the $10, my friend. You didn't have to do that. Appreciate that. Thank you. What was it? Other one? RVMD. RVMD. This one, I guess you know your pharmaceutical stuff because I don't know anything about any of these stocks. Very bouncy around the very typical pharmaceutical stock, and very much just going to be relying on data, or any kind of announcements of stuff. This one potentially, if it starts breaking above that $46 range, which if it's been multiple tops here, it could get some movement to the upside. But again, it's going to be pretty much just news based there as well. Forget about law beyond meat. Take a look at, what is this one, David? VR. Is it YYF? That's a hard. Oh, Jesus, fat finger that. VRYYF. Okay. Okay, I cannot type. I'm sorry. I'm getting tired here, boys and girls. VRYYF. Very good food company. I love it. I love it. That's just a great name. We're just gonna have to buy it just because it has a great name. What's the company name? Oh, it's Very Good Food Company. Oh, what do you guys do? Oh, we make very good food. I mean, it's fantastic. Very good food. That's a good looking chart, David. Are you in this one? J. Kim, Baba. We did Baba. If Baba can stay and break above like that 280 range, it can go higher to 300 to 310. But if it doesn't consolidate and really get that momentum to break above, we could see some initial support coming around 271 and then down to around the 260 level, which we've seen multiple times before. IPOB. I like IOPBB. I'm sorry, IPOB. Looking for some targets above $30 to $35. ZM. Yeah, I get a lot of people asking about Zoom. Zoom kind of making a comeback here. It's got earnings coming out. Is that Monday? Really? It's on Monday? Okay, it's got earnings on Monday. I didn't know that. So this is definitely with the 5 and 8 crossing over. This could definitely run higher to potentially breaking above 500 again. I think this is going to be somewhat of a large move. Is it Monday before or after the bell? Earnings after the bell. I think this one could potentially run. What's the move for the week? Is that weekly? So they're saying a move about $70. Again, it had a huge parabolic move before, and it's kind of at where it was on the previous move on his last earnings. Not saying it can't run, but potentially maybe just selling some premium around this, or maybe around the $400 range, and just seeing how it plays out. But yeah, that's a good looking chart there. Trying to come back. You're long it. Oh, great trade there, David. Thanks, David. We're going to do another live stream tomorrow, so this was just kind of one that was kind of off the wing. CRM, I don't have any opinion on CRM. It's kind of just been bouncing around. That also has earnings coming out as well, but yeah, definitely with the whole work acquisition. TTM, we just covered is that Tata Motors? Yeah, Tata Motors. If that can stay above 1187, we could potentially test its high around 14. Some support going to be coming into the downside around $10.60 to around $10.17. Spencer says U1 R1 thoughts. U1. Yeah, I don't know about that one. That's a crazy looking chart. Wow. Yeah, I don't know about that. I have no idea what this does. It's a crazy looking chart though. Crazy looking chart. What is this thing? What did this come? Is this a SPAC? No, was it penny stock? Went up to $54, now it's coming back down. Yeah, I can't, nothing, yeah. LCA, I kind of did LCA. That is basically, it's ran up quite a bit here. It's hitting a key fib at $20.62. If it wants to continue higher with some high, it's hitting some really high levels of overbought, but that doesn't mean jack squat in this market, and it can easily run up to $26.47. Some downside support is going to be coming around $19.50 to around $17. What's shooting up this week? Probably a lot of everything. Whatever Wall Street bets is pumping up. Shadow XOM. Yeah, speaking of oil and stuff like that, they're trying to come back. I'm not calling it a dead cat bounce, but something to be kind of well aware of something. I don't know, like it's a weird chart. Like it's hit this level around the 144 multiple times. It's hit it here and kind of came back down. It's kind of looking somewhat similar to me as of right now. Would maybe need a little bit more information. But if it doesn't hold above $40, it can come right back down to 38 to even down to 37. How long have I been streaming? Whoa, I've been streaming for 2 hours. Hi, caramba. And my voice is still with me. Like, finally getting over my cold, my sore throat. Okay, let's see here. Did I miss something? NVIDIA popping this week? I have no idea. Let's look. NVDA. Like NVIDIA, all these stocks have just kind of trading sideways here. If it can break above the 542, it potentially has a chance of breaking higher to 560 and above. But yeah, this is definitely a strange one to be kind of been underperforming the overall market. Simon says GRAF. GRAF. It's saying 930.20. This is no longer exists, my friend. K Thunder just came in. Netflix 500, and so we covered Netflix a little bit. We're seeing some initial support around 485 to around that 475 range. If it can hold those ranges, we could potentially see some targets break above 500 and looking for some targets to break above 516 to 530 to the upside. TMO, we covered TMO. Nothing really to add there. It's showing some support, trying to reverse. Let's do a couple more. Actually, I'm done, guys. I'm sorry. I'm tapping out. It's over 2 hours. Again, I hate to cut it, and I wouldn't say cut it short, but I need my beauty sleep. You've seen how I look, so I need my beauty sleep. I'm going to be streaming tomorrow at 9:30 as well. So tomorrow is Sunday, so from like 9:30 to potentially for 2 hours. So if I missed your stock, I really do apologize. And you're more than welcome to jump on to the Discord and chat with our members, chat and share your thoughts. We have the options trading channel, investing channel, the option watch list, all kinds of different things that you can come in, and we try to get back to you on my sense of to share thoughts and charts and things like that with you, and try to help people out the best I can. And I really do appreciate everyone coming out. And if you haven't already, thank you so much for coming out. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Again, this is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace!